Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Tanek127, and welcome back to Tanek FPS. And guys, Marvel Rivals is finally here. Brand new hero shooter, 6v6, third person, something we've been wanting for a while. And they are just stomping the grounds with the other hero shooters out here. Mainly good old Overwatch and Paladins, because let's face it, it's probably a direct competitor to those games. But anyway, if you want more Marvel Rivals content and this guide helps you, make sure you are liking today's video, subscribing to the channel if you are new, and let's go ahead and get on into today's subject. So, I'm going to be giving you guys some setting recommendations for Marvel Rivals and just, some tips and tricks you can do here and stuff like that. We're not going to be doing anything too crazy, nothing too in-depth, but, just some recommendations I have for you guys. So, if you're playing on console especially, you just want to move your icon over here to this little settings wheel and click the settings option in the game. Now, first you're going to be on the display thing. If you're playing on Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5, I'm not sure if the Series S supports 120 Hz for this game. If it does, but you should be wanting to play in 120 Hz mode at all times. The higher frame rate is going to help with your response time during combat and stuff like that. Definitely the best thing you want to do. Me personally, right now, I'm just running this on my capture card, so the option to use 120 Hz isn't available for me right now. Once I'm done this video, you better believe I'm going to be playing on 120 Hz on my 1440p monitor. Network stats, you can turn that on, just so you can see that stuff in the game and everything if you want to. But these are all, pretty basic things. The only thing really here you want to focus on is the graphics mode. The audio of the game, that's pretty self-explanatory and to your own preference, how you like your audio and all that fun stuff. They get more specific here, like the sounds of healing, being healed, material layer volume, UI layer volume, all that. So like I said, this is all preference, and however you want to do that. We're not going to go too much into things. However, here in controller, this is one area we're going to focus on pretty big. Now, your cursor sensitivity, that's just mainly for the menus and stuff like that. Vibrations intensity, I would tune that down just a little bit if you're playing on controller. Me personally, as a controller player, vibration doesn't bother me, but I know if it gets too heavy, it can be a bit distracting. So I would make vibration pretty low or turn it off, depending on your kind of preference with all of that. Now, combat, this is a big area I want to focus on because this is a really important place. Now, not only with combat for your heroes, do you want to have all this adjusted, but you want to make separate control schemes for a lot of the different heroes that you play. Like, for example, if you're a Black Widow main, Black Widow has a sprint function. And if you're playing on controller or console, her sprint will be R1 or something like that, or RB, depending on whether you're on PlayStation or Xbox. Well, me personally, I would like it to play like a typical shooter. So I would change that sprint to the left analog stick, so it's a lot easier for me to use. One other thing I've did it with is using the Punisher. I also changed his grappling hook ability. Instead of having that being L1, I changed it to the left stick. So that way, while I'm moving, I can just simply aim my left stick or aim my right stick where I want the grappling hook to go, and just tap in on my left stick. Instead of, taking my fingers and hands off of the controls for me to shoot, that, hinders my movement. But yeah, you want to think of all kinds of different control schemes you want to use for the characters that you made. Let's say you're someone that plays, something more melee, something based like Majik. Well, how would you feel, if you're used to playing things like, let's say, for example, like Dark Souls games or action RPGs and stuff like that. Give her a control scheme that feels like, like a RPG you're used to, or hell, even a MOBA that you play or something like that. Make the characters feel comfortable to, the kind of standards that you usually use in these games. Just, think about the type of character it is. Look at the character and be like, hey, if I was playing, like any other game that I normally play, how would I play this person in that game? And you'll be surprised of some of the comfortable combinations that you come up with. That's me, what I personally do, because I play a lot of gun characters. So I play people like, like Black Widow, Punisher, Winter Soldier, etc., etc. Anyone that's firing a gun, that's the kind of character I play. So, I aim for controls that feel similar to games like Call of Duty and stuff like that with a lot of the characters I've made. Now, the next most important thing you want to do is your reticle. And I say this with every single shooter that I make a guide on. Alright? It is a proven scientific fact that our eyes naturally gravitate towards things we are attracted to. So one recommendation I always tell people is make a reticle that's your favorite color. Make sure it stands out, obviously, on the maps and the game visuals and stuff like that. But pick a color you really like. Picking a color you really like can help increase your accuracy. I kid you not, it is scientifically proven. Your eyes naturally gravitate towards things you are attracted to, like a nice car, a pretty girl, handsome guy, or, your favorite color. Trust me on that. Make sure you do it. But yeah, if you wanna map the buttons, by the way, for the different characters, individual hero button mappings, the option is right there. Just go in there, make a control scheme for all your mains and stuff like that. That's personally what I did, and I found the game a lot more enjoyable. And of course, pick a sensitivity that's good for you. Me personally, right now, I like 75 and 75. I personally bump myself up about 5 or 10, just every few days of playing, just to get myself more used to a faster sensitivity. But if you want a good baseline to start, that's not too fast, start at 75, 75. Or if you're one of those guys that like your vertical a bit higher, bump it up maybe 20 higher than this. But in game starts you at like a drastic difference. The vertical is like at 120 and the horizontal is at like 75 or something like that. I was just like, nah, the difference was way too big. Now, UI, a lot of this stuff, is all preference and things on your own. The different buttons for, for communications to attack. I'm assuming, most of you guys are going to be voice chatting with your friends and stuff like that. I'm not going to worry too much about that. But then, you got all the other invitations, messages, and everything, in-game tutorials, accessibility. This is one last area I want to harp on. Even if you aren't colorblind, right? Just for the sake of awareness, make these bars colors that, will stand out to you. Just so you're aware and always, paying attention to what's going on. Like, let's say you're a healer. You always want to be looking at your allies' health. But the white health bars are, just bland to you. They don't really stand out. Change them to a color, that's more poppy. That'll get your attention. You're not crazy about the white going against the maps. Make it like a bright green or something, something where you'll always be seeing it. Especially, if you're playing an important role where you have to protect your allies. Or if you're a DPS and you want to keep an eye on the, or duelist, keeping an eye on the enemy's health and stuff like that. Make their health bars, like a bright pink or red. So, you always see that. You're always aware, just things to help increase your awareness. This is a shooter at the end of the day. So, you always want that information. You always want to know what's going on. It's not really, too difficult of anything to do. But anyway, guys, these are just, some of my tips and recommendations for, some good settings here in Marvel Rivals. Let me know what you guys are thinking, and if y'all have any tips, leave them down in the comments below. Y'all enjoyed today's video, smash that like. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.